When you really get rated, I mean, we're not in school anymore. I figured out I could talk a little bit about the leading Gen Z topic, because this is coming my way full circle all over and over again. And yesterday in my podcast, I also talked about the struggles I had leading them at the beginning, and that I had the need to figure out how to make them follow me. And yeah, that's why I did some research, and also I evaluated and reflected on myself a little bit. Yeah, and this is why I want to talk today to you about or regarding 3 topics that maybe cause some troubles other people leading Gen Z, but actually I figured out for me it's maybe not such a big deal, because I'm a little bit like that myself. The first point that I want to elaborate on is this high expectations for working flexibility, because this is what I also came across my leadership journey, because they have some real special need of that. And I think what helped me in this part, or came across very positively in my way, is that I started leading a team when the corona and the kind of home office stuff started. So in our company we have home office, or we started to have home office the whole week during corona, and also our business was very good in providing very good infrastructure for that. So I was very let's say pleased by that from our company perspective. So this is why for me this was never an issue. And also I had I'm pleased with a team that is very capable of working with technology, which is also very, let's say, common for this generation. So this is why I never had issues in providing this, And even after we were initially asked to come back to the office, I didn't see any decrease of productivity, So not when they work in the office, and also not when they work from home. So I'm very happy that I can provide kind of the need here for work-life integration. So this is one of the biggest parts that they require from a business perspective. I can imagine that other people maybe have some issues with that, but I have no issues also to provide remote work options. The struggle that we have sometimes in our company is when people want to work from other places than from Germany. So I'm very happy that I don't work with internationals at the moment, and I'm not having these discussions as a manager. Because working from outside, especially from EU, is a little bit tricky. But for me, my people are based in Germany and have mainly German relatives and so on, so they don't travel and work at the same time. So that's, for me, that's fine. I can see that there is maybe sometimes some struggles coming up when you work with internationals. What I also figured out is the feedback culture, because this is something that I also have in common with the Gen Z people, that I hate this quarterly and yearly reviews, So when you really get kind of rated, I mean, we're not in school anymore. I really have to pull out in your annual review an email from August that was not sent out properly. I mean, if you're not happy with my email, tell me directly, So like 24 hours later and not 24 months later. And I think this is also kind of a valued request from the Gen Z generation that we can take on gladly. And also this is kind of the feedback culture that we should have. Because, we're talking all about this psychological safety and so on. And when you know that your manager is accumulating all the bad stuff that he's not or she's not happy with during the whole year, I mean, how should a performance review at the end of the year look like, So this is just a bashing, and you maybe cannot remember sending out that email initially, and you don't have within 10 seconds an answer for for why this email was sent out that way 3 months ago. And this is what I also struggled with in the past by really bad leaders, and let's say it that way. Leaders don't do this. This is kind of a management style, So this is when leadership versus management is crossing the line, you know. So yeah, so I can definitely also see that. I also like to give feedback on a regular basis, you know, like 12 hours later, or when I see something's going down the drain, or in the meantime, my team is so proactive that they come to me when they see something going down the drain. The last thing I want to talk about here today is the purpose-driven mindset. In my team, no one is doing what they don't want to do. So I'm trying to figure out a way that they work 80% of the time on their own goals, and that their goals align with their values, with their purpose, and also with they want to develop in. For me, this is also nothing where I can say this is kind of a big request, you know. Because we're going into the office every day and we spend more time with our co-workers than with our spouses. And I think this is a very, let's say, valued request to have kind of a purpose in what we are doing, you know, and also figure out how this can align with our personality and how this our work is making a big exception and an impact in society. You know, I think this is kind of a valuable request. I think this is nothing special that that the Gen Z people are making or requesting differently. I think they are just reinforcing it more, you know, so like if I cannot see a purpose, I'm going to leave here. So this is a bit different than us millennials, for example. I feel like the baby boomers were asking Gen X to do something and they just did it. Then the boomers were asking the millennials and we were asking why. So that's why the millennials are called Generation Y. And Gen Z is asking why and so what. So, and I'm really, really happy to see how this Generation Alpha is challenging our generation, so like my generation. I think this is a very valuable, let's say, transition that we are undergoing, and I think this is also very helpful to protect the environment and also to reinforce diversity and inclusion, because this is also very important to Gen Z. And I also can see at the moment a development going on where Gen Z people are leaving because the companies themselves are not making their efforts visible. You know, I had a very interesting discussion with also a manager in my company, I think some 3 months ago, and she said that, yeah, but Tanja, we have all this kind of stuff that you were talking about. And I said, yeah, that's fine, but we have to tell people. We cannot have this in our drawer and pull it out whenever we are asked to, because other companies are doing this. And at the end, no one is applying for our jobs anymore and we cannot hire people. So I think we should have also a big interest in promoting ourselves, what we are actually doing in terms of purpose, in terms of work-life balance or work-life integrations, what we are doing for the people to make them grow, you know. And so that's basically my take on. I hoped that I could provide kind of, let's say an overview about, okay, what is different, what I'm making different, and what we can do to ensure that we are staying attractive. But to be honest, I figured out that I have the same requirements like they have, and maybe that's the reason why I like working with them so much. Yeah. So in the preparation for this podcast, I kind of learned a lot about myself and also about my requirements that I have to my manager, and he's also struggling with this sometimes. And I think I can relate to him a little bit better now after I kind of accumulated all this pre-work here and had kind of a very bad night thinking about it. Okay, I wanted to talk about the differences, but actually I'm the same. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It turned out a little bit differently I have had initially in my mind. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and talk to you tomorrow, guys. Bye.